Hey, it's Paris. You know, I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This is Rob Long with Martini Shot for The Ankler. A friend of mine pitched this show to me last week. It's a comedy, I think half-hour comedy probably. And the setup is this. He and his wife both work outside the house, but with 2 young kids and childcare is expensive, his mother-in-law helps out during the day to take care of the young kids for free. And that is terrific. Except he and his wife are deeply committed, Santa Monica-style progressives, and his mother-in-law is a passionate Trump supporter with Fox News on all day. So every single night they need to pick up their kids from her house and basically reprogram their own children from believing that Donald Trump belongs on Mount Rushmore, or that Gavin Newsom works for the Chinese Communist Party, or that, measles vaccine's going to turn you into a robot, something like that. But, he said it's okay because she's crazy, but man, the price is right. So now let me clarify. My friend didn't actually pitch this to me as a show. He's a lawyer. So is his wife, actually. He just told me what's really happening in his house. And I suspect he's not unique. We all have somebody in our family who may watch too much cable news, if you know what I mean, of either stripe, actually. I'm the one who turned it into a pitch. I'm the one who thinks, and I'm probably wrong here, or too early, or way too late, because I'm always one of those. I'm the one who thinks that what's happening in the real world, in all of its gaudy, lurid glory, is pretty great material. You just have to look around. Here's what I mean. When Tom Wolfe was working on his blockbuster novel, Bonfire of the Vanities, that was his first novel, by the way, but he was terrified that somebody else would write it first, because how could a city full of writers, he wondered, miss what was right in front of them? New York City in the 1980s, when he was working on his book, was a baroque, over-the-top carnival of page sixers and crack dealers and lifetime criminals and nightlife trash socialites. Tom Wolfe hurried uptown every day to the Bronx courthouse to catch the gloriously unhinged matinee, and every day he was gripped by anxiety because he was convinced that he was about to be scooped. Of course he was. It's New York. Surely there's an author around here, he thought. Someone younger, with more energy, who was working the same angle. How could they miss it? Surely there's a New York writer who realizes that all you need to do to write a juicy bestseller, or for that matter, have a hit TV comedy, is walk around the city and write down what you see. Turns out there wasn't, actually. Wolfe's book was a singular smash. He worried for nothing. While Tom Wolfe was taking the Uptown 405 to the courthouse and teaching himself the rudiments of bond trading, most other New York novelists were busy writing novels about New York novelists working on their novels in New York. And that made sense, I guess, at the time, because at that point, literary critics and professors were caught in the thrall of a literary theory called deconstruction, which teaches, among other stupid things, that the text refers only to itself, that it deconstructs in the reading, that it isn't really there at all. And if that's true, why bother leaving the house? Now, from the vantage point of 2025, of course, the 1980s are a sleepy golden age. Compared to I'm just picking at random here, worldwide pandemic, AI, exploding wars, Trump, China, Putin, Jeffrey Epstein, TikTok, the bonfire era seems like very thin material. A fun and lively story that captures the richly insane Bruegel painting that is America, autumn 2025, that would be a big, fat moneymaker. On the page, on the screen, anywhere. Capturing the moment, that's what they call it. And capturing the moment is television's job, really. Although, lately, it's been asleep on the job. TV writers and executives like Tom Wolfe's fellow New York writers are often loath to leave the house in the first place, metaphorically speaking. Let me put it this way. On Madison Avenue in New York City, and the same goes for a bunch of streets in LA and actually all over the world, you could find any global luxury boutique usually clustered on one street. And all over the world, it's the same. You find the street with, I don't know, say the Hermes store, and you're going to find the Gucci or the Tom Ford or the Prada or the Louis Vuitton really, really close. A few doors up or a few doors down, but right there. Every big city all over the world has a street just like that. And the key is, pretty much everything sold in those stores is clearly from that specific store. I mean, you can spot those Gucci stripes or the pebbled Hermes leather or those giant Tom Ford zippers a mile away, and that's sort of the point because, in many cases, that's why people pay those prices in the first place. But if you walk up Madison Avenue to about 70th Street, there's a two-level shop called The Real Real. There's one in LA, they're all over the place. And that's a high-end consignment outfit. It's right there on Madison Avenue, where you can buy the exact same stuff from the same brands as you can up and down Madison Avenue. The same Hermes and Gucci and Tom Ford with the same pebbles and stripes and big zips, just slightly used. I mean, not stinky used or stained used or crime was committed in it used, but used the way it would be a month or so after somebody bought it new and paid full price. People take their old, fancy, expensive clothes and doodads to The Real Real. They drop them off or they send them in, and The Real Real puts them up for sale. It's someone else's stuff, someone else's nice stuff, someone else's expensive nice stuff, but already bought at full price and now maybe slightly worn and a little scuffed, so a lot cheaper. I mean, it's going to get a little worn and a little scuffed anyway, is the thinking. Nothing looks brand new forever, so maybe it makes sense to buy it a little used. I mean, philosophically speaking, we are all of us a little scuffed and a little used. But it's real. I mean, these aren't knockoffs like you buy down on Canal Street. This is the real stuff, authenticated and guaranteed. And I think that's why they call the shop The Real Real. It's mostly online. That's big business, apparently. But what I noticed while walking up Madison was how physically close the shop was to the other shops, the original shops. How close the real stores, Gucci, Hermes, Tom Ford, are to the Real Real store. I mean, you could easily spend the day nosing around the fancy stores and decide on a few things to buy and then walk up a couple blocks to the Real Real store and buy them there for a lot less. So imagine being someone who works for one of those amazing and exclusive brands. I mean, you think you're it. You think you're at the top. But it turns out that a few doors away, they're selling pretty much exactly what you're selling, but for a lot less. And I think, and here's where I torture a metaphor to death, I think that's what's happening now to a lot of big brands in the entertainment business. There are funny and quirky people on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok just up the street, as it were, a few clicks from whatever else is playing on your browser. Big-name journalists and pundits are on Twitter or Substack just a flip away, and free too, mostly. You can watch some seriously famous people, the A-list, the Gucci and Hermes of celebrity, in other words, doing random stuff on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, like working out or shopping or getting cryotherapy, which I saw this morning. It's as real as the stuff on The Real Real, and like The Real Real, it's a little rougher and kind of worn around the edges. But my guess is if you don't have to go to the movies to watch a movie star and you don't have to subscribe to Netflix to see something really funny, maybe you won't. Unless it's real as opposed to Real Real. And that's the one field that Hollywood really can compete on. We can head uptown and watch unfiltered events and turn them into a real story. We can watch a family try to sort out who gets to program the kids and then turn it into a comedy. All we have to do is actually get out of the house, walk around the city, notice stuff that's real, and turn it into something real before it gets resold at The Real Real. And that's it for this week. Next week, some advice for the new owners of Paramount. For The Ankler, this is Rob Long.